All right, Claiborne County Sports Zone is over at Cumberland Gap this afternoon for the Coach Nash Show. He got his first win with the Panthers as head coach, 18-0 in a weather-shortened game. We had a DeLynn Klein Stadium. They named the stadium after him. And also, they had something before the game about a special player over here at Cumberland Gap. So, Coach, if you want to talk about Klein and Fultz a little bit, go ahead.
Yeah, it was obviously a special night. Coach Klein, being such a cornerstone of Pie Valley football and Cumberland Gap football, it was awesome to be a part of the stadium dedication. Just as a coach and a mentor of mine, I remember I tell everybody all the time he was one of the reasons I even got to play football, because as a freshman, he would give me a ride home after practice every day as a freshman. So obviously he means a lot to me as a mentor, and just as he does to many people in this community. And it was really great to be a part of that. That is something that I'll always remember for sure. And yeah, with Noah, Noah's story is, it's incredible. His story with being able to just overcome the things that he's overcome, with the attitude that he's been able to overcome it. It's definitely been a work of dedication, a work of heart, and a work of God. God's definitely had His hand in this situation. So it was special to see some of his nurses and some of his medical personnel that took care of him during that time, and it was a special night. It was a special night. So glad to be a part of it.
Okay. Talk about the game against Hancock and how the Panthers did.
Well, going into the game, obviously everybody was excited. We had a really good off season. I thought we got better in many ways. Our kids' minds has been really good. They're excited to get started with the season. Going 0-10 last year. We've kind of got the mentality that we weathered the storm. We weathered a storm, and it's time to be that storm now. So, that's kind of one of the things that we're trying to focus on. Listen, we know we're not going to win every ball game, but I've challenged the kids. Let's compete in every ball game. Just like I did last year. And kids are growing up. Kids are growing up, and we're bigger, stronger, and faster. So that we play a good team this weekend or this Friday night. Thomas Walker's got a good football team this year. So we've been really focused on what we can do to beat them, and so it's started. The game itself. I mean, getting called at halftime due to weather. Obviously we can't control the weather, and I know all over East Tennessee, games got canceled and postponed, and and as a coach and a player, that's kind of hard to deal with sometimes. But as I tell the kids all the time, we've got to be able to face adversity and move on. So.
How did they come out of the locker room? Kind of explain how they reacted in the first two drives offensively.
Yeah, our first two drives were good. We wanted, just like any other football team, you want to establish, a run game, and and to establish the pass game. So we had some. I had talked with Ben, our offensive guy, and we had made some decisions on some things that we wanted to see and some things that we wanted to check off our list, so to speak, on and get film on. So we done exactly what we thought we should, we was very happy with that.
Okay, you played two quarterbacks. Talk about their play and the differences between them.
Yeah, we've got two great kids, and just a shout out to those two kids. Just the maturity level to be able to know that they bring something special to the team, in different ways. I thought they both done great. They both done exactly what I knew they could, and that they will. Both players are like, Coach, I just want to play. If I ain't playing quarterback right now, let me go play wide receiver. Let me go play tight end. Let me go play defense. Let me go do that. They're just ready to play. They're anxious to play. And that's the type of mentality that you got to have. That's the type of teammanship that you got to have, and because football is not a sport that you can have a big ego in, and football is not a sport that you can do by yourself. So you've got to really have that teammate mentality. And I'm very proud of both those boys.
Will they both play kind of the same roles against Thomas Walker?
Yeah, they will. I think Cole's gonna play some more defense than he has for us. Noah, he plays some defense. Cole is going to start playing some defense as well. He's finally talked me into it. But yeah, same roles on offense. Again, I feel like they bring different skill sets to the game, and for me as a coach, and for me as a defensive guy, it's very tough to prepare for two different types of quarterbacks, throughout the week. So we're excited with what we got and how they're able to come in the game and make their impact on the game.
Talk about your offensive line. How did they perform like you wanted them to?
Yeah. Obviously, game one's going to show a lot of the little things we got to fix. For the most part, Coach Van, he graded the film out. He made a comment that I thought was funny. He said, my notepad's a lot less full after this game than it was game one last year. So obviously they are getting better. They're, we can always critique anything and everything, as coaches, but yes, they done, like you probably remember me saying last year that our offensive line and defensive line has to be our best position groups, and we have to live and die with those guys, and I still believe that to this day, and we will. So.
Okay, how did your wideouts and running backs? How did they do?
Running back wise, we done good. I think we Gibson he caught a touchdown for us out here. Great catch. They've been working hard. Vincent Hensley, they kind of double teamed him and wrapped him up all night. But he was able to contribute in getting flags all night long on that. And running back wise, we got some good running backs. Curtis Huntley done a great job. And LE done a great job. Hunter Sturgill is probably one of the hardest runners we got. I think he done wonderful. So. We've got things to clean up on it in every position group, but all in all, for the little bit of football that we got to play, we done okay.
Okay, grade your offense after one game.
I would say offensively, we had some muff snaps. on our 2-point conversions, and I would say I would leave room for improvement on a B- probably. Yeah.
Okay, do the same with your defense.
Defensively we done really well. I mean, I'm not sure. I didn't crunch the numbers, but I don't know that we give up many yards. I'm gonna give my defense, because there's always room for improvement. I give them a B+ for sure. Outside linebackers done exactly what we had talked about all week doing.
Well, my next question was, what position did you feel performed the best?
Outside linebackers. We knew coming into the game that Hancock had a really good athlete at running back. We knew that we had to keep him contained. We had to keep him under control. And we done that with our outside linebacker play. We had schemed up the way that we wanted to play that all week, and they done that to pretty much perfection. So we done really good at the outside linebacker position.
Both on offense and defense, what do they need to do to improve? We'll start with offense.
For offensively, just continue to do the little things. Continue to do your little things, the things that you're supposed to do. And in every position group, the kids know the small fundamental things that we have to do to continue to get better. It's not the big giant leap things that you do, it's the small things that you do. So I challenge each position group every practice to make sure that we do that. We do the little things, and the big things will come. So,
okay, what did you like during the first game? What did you see that you just absolutely got it? They've got it. They're doing it right.
Yeah, special teams done really well. I mean, we recovered.
Well, you've always got good special teams.
We recovered 2 kickoffs. So we gained a couple extra possessions there. Our attitude was good. Our focus was good, I thought. The crowd here was really good. The community support was huge.
I heard it was huge. Yeah.
It was a good atmosphere. There's a lot of good things going with this program and this community, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Okay, just flip that over. What didn't you like during the game?
So we had a scuffle with some players, between one of our guys and a couple of their guys. Anytime that you have flags and stuff like that, it slows the game down. It kind of disrupts the flow of the game. So that was unfortunate. But thing is, we will learn from it. We'll get better, and we'll move forward.
Okay, get to stay at home again this week. What do you know about the Pioneers?
To be honest with you, they're a good football team, and I thought since they lost a few kids last year that they may not be as good in certain positions. They lost a McCurry kid last year, I think. But they're a good football team. We're going to have to come out and play our absolute best to beat them. And we're up for the challenge. They equally pass and run the ball, so we're going to have to be very efficient with our pass defense, with our alignment. In our secondary, our run fits on defense. We're going to have to, be very point blank with those, making sure that we're up front good. So, they make a defensive guy work offensively. Yeah.
What areas have you found during film study that will help your offense?
I've always,
without giving a game plan away.
no, it's kind of more of, just our offensive line, just being able to, to dominate the line of scrimmage, and and my defensive line being able to dominate the line of scrimmage. you know, I scream all the time. I tell the boys all the time that, you know, the lineman's name ain't never in the paper, but when a running back's name is, that's as good as their name. So, you know, it has to be our offensive line. It has to be our big boys in every game that we play this year. It has to start with them. We got a great senior leader with John McOwens there. He is a great leader. I think, you know, on and off the field, he's a great leader. In the locker room, I think, you know, he brings a whole lot to the table. So, you know, it has to start there. It has to start there for us to be successful.
Is there something in film study that you could use to tweak your defense a little bit?
Yeah, you know, I think our alignment on some of the things that we done in 7-on-7 previously in the summer. I think we're going to have to adjust some of our alignments and put ourselves in better positions to make plays against Thomas Walker. So yeah, so some stuff that we worked on yesterday and we're going to work on today that we, you know, some minor alignment adjustments. So yeah.
Last question. Personnel wise, or injuries, stuff like that?
No, injury wise, we're pretty good right now. I think we got Tyler Medley's banged up a little bit. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to go on Friday. You know, I got, you know, depending on what happens with one of my defensive backs, he kind of tweaked his chest a little bit. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things you'll wait a couple, you know, it's kind of one of those Friday game day decision times when I have to look at Mara and get the good or bad news. So.
All right, Coach, best of luck this Friday against Thomas Walker.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.